Already in the 13th century, the monks came up this valley. They came for the same purpose as 2,000–3,000 persons comes to this place even today to fish the salmon. Of course, they found the place so good and nice, so they started up some mills. Therefore, the city of Munkedal was said, because Munk is monk.
Munkedal is a very, very small village. We are only 4,000 persons living in the village. So everyone has some connection to the mill. So when you come inside here, it's a lot of heart and soul built into the products. We have two paper machines. It's PM5 and PM8. PM5 is the older one, so it's from 1952. And the one you're going to see inside here is from 1965. And we managed to produce cream shade, white shade, wood-containing, wood-free paper here at Munkedal, from bulk 1.13 up to 2.0, and it's 60 gram up to 240 gram.
We have a lot of different grades in Munkedal, but this different interest in different products has created the Munken range. So different bulks, different colors. So therefore it's so wide. And therefore it's also the benefit of not being an integrated mill. We have the possibility of buying a lot of different pulp. And you need that if you have such a wide range. We are using today 16 different kind of pulps.
When you're using the pulp, you need to treat it in some way. Because the pulp is very absorbent. It absorbs water. If you should do a paper that should be good to print on in 4-color, then you need to have a paper that is a little bit more hydrophobic. And if you take a Munken grade, all Munken grade and amber, and I would say all paper that is aimed for 4-color printing, they are surface size. It means that we put a layer on a layer of starch on top.
The first machine is where we are producing the paper, and here we decide you can say the grammage, and you are forming the paper in the wire part, the wet part of the machine, and then it goes into the press part of the machine where you are press out more water, and you can say also a little bit of the thickness you are making there, and you dry the paper. Then you put on a thin film with starch to get better printability and that water not go direct into the paper.
What we also have in the paper is some kind of filler. All paper have some, not always, the craft paper doesn't have, and newsprint have very little, but most of the paper have a kind of filler, and it could be clay, is Qualin clay, like the clay you have in porcelain. If you have a coated paper, this is different because then you have a coating, and you know that. But the coating layer is more or less the same as the filler, is clay and calcium carbonate but blended. And you also need to add latex or some kind of binder to keep it together, otherwise it would break. So the blend of these two are normally the coating layer.
The paper qualities, of course, you probably know it. Amber is the uncoated, Arctic is the only coated one in the group, and the other ones are uncoated. In the amber range, we are having the graphic, the preprint, and the volume. 3 grades. Those substances above 150 and upwards are produced in Munkedal. And then you have the Arctic range, which also is 3 grades. The white, silk, and the matte, produced today at the Grycksbo mill. And then we have the Munken range. It is of course based much by its uncoated paper. We are FSC certified and PFC certified. This is the capacity on the Munken mill, 160,000 tons.
This is the control room of PM8, and here we have a lot of monitors that we are adjusting and controlling the paper machine on. Here you see a drawing over the paper machine, and every quality has their own ground recipe in the system, but it's living material and it's not the same today as it will be next week, so some of the things you need to adjust by hand.
The relation between the grammage and the thickness the thickness of the paper. As you know, the grammage is always measured in gram, and the thickness is measured in microns, or micrometers, yeah. So the bulk is the ratio of that. So if you have a paper, let's say this is 150 in thickness, then 150 divided with the grammage will give a ratio of 1/5. And that is the bulk. But if you go back here, in the Munkedals mill, I would say this is our speciality, to be able to do very good bulky paper. And I said 150 micron on 100 grams paper, that is high bulk, so to say. But the highest bulk we have is actually that 100 grams paper can give a thickness of 200 micrometer. It means that this bulk is 2.0. The thickness is giving the stiffness and the feeling. One thing that is not coming with a thickness is opacity. Opacity is following the grammage. So sometimes you're using the bulk and the thickness to go down in grammage to achieve a lighter product. Then you need to have a look on the opacity, because opacity is following the grammage. An example of how to use bulk. This is an interesting example because we had that order for both Germany and Sweden at that time. And it was a Harry Potter book. In Sweden they selected Munken Premium Cream 100 gram in 1/3 bulk. And the book was a kilo. In Germany they selected 1.8 bulk and went down to 80 gram. What happened was that the book was 200 gram lighter, but even thicker.
And then the big reel was taken down to the basement, where we are cutting down to smaller reels and pack this reel or get to the cutting machine. After that, there we wrap the reels, and the machine we went on after that was a straight cutting machine, where we cut down to smaller size of sheets. And we pack the reel in, you get the labels, you get the plastic around, and it get down to the warehouse.
The goal has been and is, of course, today very much to produce at the lowest possible impact on the environment. How could it be so harmful to produce paper? Because what do you use? You use fiber, cellulosa fiber, the nature itself. You use calcium carbonate. You use mainly starch, potato starch or tapioca starch. And then you have some small chemicals. You can have some colors, some blenders who makes it more yellow or more white. What could then be of these few things? What is so difficult or dangerous for the surrounding river and the fjord? The main difficulty here is the cellulosa fiber, the nature itself. If we let it out to the river and the fjord and it goes down to the bottom of the fjord, it will consume oxygen. It will consume a lot of oxygen. And what happens then? The bottoms of the fjord will be dead. So therefore, we need to take out all of the small fiber parts. And what's happening then, it is those very small animals that you only can see in a microscope. They eat this.
So, welcome to our park. I told you when we start the mill tour that we use 99% water, that only 1% is the fiber and filler that we make the paper of. So we use a lot of water. We use 30 to 40,000 liters per minute on one paper machine, and we have two. So it's a lot of water. And we can say this is both the start and the beginning of the paper production, because this water we are using once again.
The water flows down to our wastewater ponds, which are 3, and it takes 2 days for the water to go through those ponds. The last parts go to the bottom and creates energy for the plants around these ponds. And we bring up those plants every autumn, so then you take up the energy. And after that, you have one last cleaning step that you will see this afternoon. And it makes our wastewater possible to drink. So it's not any other mill in the world, I would say, that you can go down and drink the wastewater.
Voici quelques références françaises. Le livre Alechinsky de l'éditeur Gallimard, imprimé sur article volume White. Le catalogue Bella Ciao et le catalogue de l'agent 002. Il montre des illustrations de 24 dessinateurs de cette agence. Il est imprimé sur Munken Polar en 170 et 300 grammes. Le livre d'Antoine Emmanuel était fait pour la rétrospective aux arts décoratifs en février 2009. Il est imprimé sur Munken Pure 130 grammes par Escourbiac à Toulouse. Nous avons aussi une affiche pour le prix Wepler imprimée sur Munken Lynx en 70 grammes. Ensuite, il y a Vumag numéro 4. C'est un magazine de photographie édité par Ramaniman Éditions, imprimé sur article volume White en plusieurs grammages.